Hello, everyone, and welcome to the International Fab Talks. It's always a happy day to celebrate it with unsung heroes, with people across the world who have done their very best to influence the society in the right way, to create awareness. And this is what the International Fab Talk stands for: to accept and to love people the way they are, to accept the world as it is. And of course, if you need to bring a transformation in the mindsets of people, yes, we belong to that zone where we create awareness and enable people to have progressive thinking. And today, friends, we are very happy and lucky to have the presence of our special celebrity and guest. He is Venkatesh Kodukula, joining us all the way from Kolkata, West Bengal, India. Let's get to know more about our celebrity and guest. Hello, Venkatesh, and welcome to the session.
Namaskar. Thank you so much for inviting me over. It is a pleasure being here and welcome on board. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking out time. Much appreciated, Venkatesh. My dear friends, Venkatesh is a social activist and an HR professional, and above all, a great humanitarian wanting to transform the society in the right way. I'd like to share your profile, sir, in an official way.
Sure.
Yes, thank you so much, Venkatesh. Venkatesh is a passionate social activist working very strongly for the underprivileged and, of course, those people who really require that understanding, the acceptance. And friends, over a decade of experience in uplifting the underrepresented communities in West Bengal, Venkatesh has been really, walking on that beautiful path of bringing peace and harmony in the lives of several people who are not accepted properly in the right way by others. But there are people who are open-minded, who are very progressive, and this acceptance is required by one and all, even you and me too. Venkatesh is not afraid to tackle taboo topics, and this is really the beauty of Venkatesh's mind. Every sphere, every nook and corner in everything that they do. This is the beauty. It's not only in one place that I show that I'm special. You should show that you're special in every way. With whoever you come in contact with, you have to really be you, the original you, that is being genuine, being human. That's really nice. And friends, I'd like to add this. Venkatesh also tirelessly works to create safe spaces for all, not for one or two communities, for all. That's the beauty of Venkatesh's mind. And we should learn that from Venkatesh. On weekends and during their free time, Venkatesh spreads lots of love. How? Through this beautiful campaign that is Free Hugs. In fact, I myself and many of the people I know, we required a hug when we were very low or down, just someone to hold you and say that the world is going to be okay. It's not the end for you. And here, Venkatesh stands out amongst the crowd with the Free Hugs campaign. That's really nice. And yeah, Venkatesh also advocates for mental health awareness. That's really beautiful. Mental health awareness for one and all. That's really nice. And let's not forget, Venkatesh is also a traveler, loves traveling. And I also really appreciate this. I also love traveling. A wanderlust traveler, you could call Venkatesh. And Venkatesh also loves food. And me too. That's really nice. And all of us, I'm sure, we love delicious food. We'll get to know more about our celebrity and guest now. Join me, friends. Let's learn and transform our mindsets and go on the progressive path. It's time in the 21st century to be more progressive than to be laid off with backward or, laid back thoughts or thoughts that are stereotyped. Hello, Venkatesh, and we are really glad to have you today here. I've been sharing all about you, but I'd like to know, and I would like you to share from your side, how would you define the real Venkatesh?
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. So before we take it ahead, the conversation, so I'll just quickly give a self-introduction about myself so that the folks, you can know more about me, who I am, where I am from, how Venkatesh has been a person who is in front of you today, the journey of Venkatesh. So yeah, so as you know, my name is Venkatesh Kodukula. I identify myself as a non-binary individual, and I go with the pronouns they and them. I prefer to be addressed by Venkatesh or Venkat. That's how I prefer. And if I talk about my journey of realizing my sexuality, it started around 15 years ago or 14 years ago, approx, when back then, where I didn't had a platform where I could reach out to people or understand or talk about this topic. But I felt that I was different. I was around 15 years, 16 years during my adolescence period, when I always, so I was I'm a biologically born male, and I was attracted towards male. So same sex attraction was there, but that was not very common, because always we have seen, I was raised in a co-ed school, where I have seen my friends always being with the opposite gender, holding hands, and but when I always felt that no, I couldn't align with them, so sort of my attraction was towards same sex, but that I couldn't speak and discuss or share my feelings. So there was a lot of on and off. I had issues, but over the time, I took some time myself by choice, and sort of it took me almost 3 years to understand that if it was right or if it was wrong, or if I'm the only person, or there are many thousands or hundreds of people who are like me, who share the same feeling. So I gave some time, and back then I started exploring some platforms on my internet, through internet, which I had a very limited access to. But yes, I came across. Many of you might of my age group understood that we had this Orkut. Before Facebook, there was this Orkut. Then in Yahoo Messenger, where there was different chat groups. So sort of in that way, I came across different like-minded groups or some people, but there was a lot of inhibitions because all these were virtual, so you never know, and there was a lot of fear, lot of anxiety that to understand ki, if it was a safe space or not, if the person on the other side of the screen is a person who is real or someone who is a fraud, scamster. There were a lot of things which was ongoing, but over the time, when I was around 18, I realized that I identify myself as a gay man. And so I'm a biologically born male, but my sexuality is gay, where I'm attracted towards same-sex individuals, that is male. Um, then when I was 19, I thought of coming out to my mother, because I always felt that she's a safe space to me. Not my sister, though, not my father, because I felt at that point of time to discuss with my mother. So I did that, and over the time, when I came out to her that I identify as a gay man, a gay boy, so I think there was a lot of inhibitions, because back when it was around, I think 13 years ago or 12 years ago when I came out. And back then they also had no such idea or no such exposure of such conversations happening across, or when they see that I myself, their son, has identified as a gay boy and they're disclosing, so it was not easy for them also. But yeah, so I took time, uh, that I took some time to understand how it has been, and I need to give some time to them as well, because when I took myself 3.5 years to realize and accept my sexuality, it's important on to give time to other people as well on the other side to understand, because they are a generation earlier and it's not easy for them. So when you want a change, you have to expect it, you have to give some time for the change as well. And when you expect, because it's not easy. So because the society is a very cis heteronormative society. Back then it was much more. People where there was a very because we have always seen that a boy getting married to a girl, or likewise happening. So in that way, our parents are generation earlier. So the moment you tell them that I'm gay, they won't tell you that, oh, you can get married to a boy, we will be happy. So, and making them understand was sort of my task for the next 2 3 years after I came out. Over the time, my mom understood. Then it was I came out to my father, and then it was a discussion. But when I was around 23 years, I felt uh, I used to like wearing nail paints. Now I could have seen that I wear nail paints. So wearing nail paints or wearing some jewelry form was sort of my way of. I think that was a personal choice. But and I identified myself as an androgynous gay boy because I was flamboyant. I loved enjoying neck pieces. I loved wearing earrings. I loved wearing nail paints. But I identify as a male only. But my sexuality is gay. But I'm flamboyant. So when I did that for my mother, it was a step back. She accepted me, but when she saw my flamboyancy, for her, it was, oh, are you a hijra? So understanding the difference of who a hijra is, or who a trans person is, a trans woman, a trans man. So I have to, because I understand they don't come from that, they didn't have that upbringing or people around them where this conversation was very normal. So in that point, so for them, it's a very obvious ask. And I took some time. again, it was 6 months of rigorous sort of, we had a discussion where I had to explain that who a gay is, a lesbian, a bisexual, trans, or hijra person is. So it's more of conversation, but over the time, then she again tried understanding. She gave some time to herself to understand. And I think when I was 24, she happily accepted me the way I am. And yeah, that's how my journey started. And then since my family support was at least there, so my mother's support was initially there from the very day one sort of thing. Of course, I understand that the full acceptance comes with the time, but at least uh, just being there by your side is also a big support. So that helped me sort of making an assurity that at least I have a parent support, a family support, but many of the community people don't have that. So I wanted to be a voice for many others, and I'm always been very confident, and I always try to be very vocal about certain topics. So where I started actively talking about, it might be a lot of there was a lot of inhibitions, people discussing about it, but I always try to initiate the conversation and at least have a platform where we can talk about it. So that happened over the time. And then, yeah, then over the time, I started attending Pride parades. I started from Calcutta. Calcutta is one of the first city to host a Pride parade in 1999. Over the time, then I attended my first Pride around in 2015. And then from 2017 to 2019, I was one of the India's only persons who has traveled across India for all the prides which happened every year. So it was, I think, over the span of 3 years, I covered around 55 pride parades, and not restricting to that only in the metropolitan cities, but across all the two-tier cities, districts. In case the pride clashed on one particular day if in different cities, then I had to choose one. But apart from that, mostly I covered all the prides in this 3 years across the nation. And the reason and the motive to do that was to understand the different culture, the different perspectives of people of the community, what they have been facing through, how they have been, or to understand more how the city has been or the state has been sort of accepting in terms of and their other developments in the state across the in regard to the community. So that helped me a lot of my personal exposure and my personal, I think, helping me understand as a person what are the challenges, or sort of it helped me a lot of growing personally as a human in more of understanding. And over the time, I think the COVID period, pandemic stuck, and I think last 5 years back, I sort of uh, I started feeling that I'm not aligning with the gender binaries of male and female, and I felt that the way I dress shouldn't me sort of be my identity. For example, if I'm wearing a sari, but if I'm being addressed saying as ma'am, or if I'm wearing a shirt and pant and I'm being addressed as sir, so it's sort of I don't feel aligned through. I don't want to go with the societal norms, and I identify myself as a non-binary individual who doesn't go with any gender tags. So I felt that that was something which was happening, and I think I took some time because it was more of fun science, which I felt very comfortable of not being very gender tagged. And in that aspect, I as you have as I think you have introduced me already, so my preferred pronouns are they and them. So when we talk about pronouns, I just give a quick context of what pronouns are and how it is, how does that work. So the reason, for example, we have seen that when we say that she is coming, so the moment when we say she is coming, so a person assumes that it's a girl, female, gender identity person who's coming. He is coming, same, we identify as male. But when we say they are coming, so in basic English, if we say they are coming, so we understand it's more than one person, multiple people. They are coming to my house. But there are people like me who doesn't go with the pronouns of he and him, or she or her. So when, for example, if you introduce me as saying that they are coming, it doesn't has to be multiple people. It can be one person who doesn't align with it. So you can say they are coming. So it's more of being respectful towards the person. Or you can say Venkatesh is coming. And the reason of saying preferred pronouns. See, I don't say my pronouns are they and them. The reason because, see, we are in a growing. It's always of learning and unlearning. So I always believe that it's not easy. It's a taboo. It's more of a habit also because we have grown through. So changing a habit takes time. So today, for example, if you by any point of during the call or during our interview, if you say me that sir, or if you say he is coming or she is coming, so in that aspect, I don't take it as an offense because it's a matter of learning. We all learn and unlearn at point, right? So because it's very not common. The moment we know they are coming, it's a multiple people we address. When we say multiple people, we say they are coming. But when you say about one person, it's not. It's in the flow. We will say he is coming. So it takes time. So I don't take offense when I say preferred pronouns, because I want people to take it, learn it, accept it slowly and steadily. Today, if you come across multiple people like me, and over the time, or if you talk with me, you will also get into a habit of addressing me as Venkatesh and they, them, not he, him, she, hers, or sir, or ma'am. So it's a matter of practice, and you need to give time also. So I think if I took some time to understand my sexuality, my gender, of my identity, so I always prefer in creating a space where the other person on the opposite side of the screen, or in person who I know, I need to give that time for them, for that acceptance to take place. So that's how it is, and it's being very respectful. And what you said is just creating peace, harmony, something what we look like. So that's how my personal journey has been. So yeah, if I talk about my professional journey, yeah, it's, I think, the initial first couple of years from 2013 to 2020, I was more into advocacy, activism, talking about spaces, having sensitization workshops on gender sexuality, more into some freelancing businesses which I had created into creative arts and all. But over the time in 2021, I joined this organization called Human Rights Law Network, where I was working actively, not only restricting to the gender and sexual minorities, but again with a couple of other underrepresented communities, and where I've actively taken part in the fact findings and research back in the tea gardens of North Bengal and with the tiger widows in Sundarbans. And sort of, we used to file cases in the different apex courts of India for the public litigation. PIL we used to file in terms of the interest of the communities. And in during that, I think the COVID pandemic started. It was a COVID pandemic, the second wave, the major wave which was hit across. And if you could see the certain things, the basic certain things which our society in today's date, if you actually think, sit back, close your eyes, think, give some time, and you see how the inequality is there till date. How many of you have noticed there are wards in hospitals? I will talk about government hospitals more specifically. Is how many there are wards for trans individuals? We have seen male wards, female wards, but where are wards for trans people or someone who don't identify with the binaries of male and female? There are people, when you want our votes, when our votes matters, the basic rights to access to healthcare, education, these are also what matters. So a person, an individual shouldn't be deprived of their basic human rights. And as per the Nalsa judgment 2014, transgenders have been given third gender recognition. Again, the matter of third gender, then who is first gender? It's a male or it's a female. So that's a matter of debate again, but let me not get into all the nitty-gritties of into it. But recognizing by the Nalsa is Nalsa judgment as per trans giving the recognition has been in 2014. Today is 2024, and it's been almost April 15th is round the corner in 2 months. But how many people? It's been 10 years of the judgment. In 10 years, till date, if you go to government hospitals, there have been no beds assigned or hardly any beds assigned. I won't say no, there might be 1, 2 beds in a couple of hospitals across different states, but hardly any hospitals have beds assigned for trans individuals. So in this instance, I have seen many of my fellow trans brothers and sisters who had lost their lives just because when they go to hospitals, in terms of allotting which bed on the basis of the gender assigned at birth, or on the basis of gender they identify themselves, कि male में भर्ती करे or female में भर्ती करे. This identification problem and assigning birth has took so much of long process that they have lost their lives. Today, I might be privileged to afford a private hospital. I might take a cabin, but not everyone is. So these are basic healthcare. So I'm talking just one of the instances. During COVID pandemic, COVID pandemic was a massacre across. People had suffered. We have seen this like pandemic crazy in our generation. We all will remember throughout how that period was. But many of our trans brothers and sisters were not getting admission across. And if I talk about West Bengal, there was only one hospital, government hospital called MR Bangalore, which allotted 2 beds for trans individuals in the state of West Bengal, and the hospital is in Calcutta. But is the count of trans people restricting to 2 or 4 or 5? There are thousands and thousands of people who identify as one from the alternative binaries. But and when you talk about it's only 2 beds in Calcutta, but what happens if, for example, if someone who identifies as apart from the binaries of male and female is suffering from COVID back in Darjeeling, which is 12 hours, 14 hours away from Calcutta? So how does a person commute from Darjeeling to Calcutta to get admitted? So these are basic human rights violation of not having proper access to healthcare. Isolation wards were there. Many of you who have seen it, whose family, near and dear ones have been there, they could understand. There were isolation centers for male and female. So whether, for example, if I identify myself as a non-binary person, where do I fit in? Am I comfortable being with the male people or am I comfortable being with the female people? These simple things looks very simple, but when you see people begging in the signals, it's very easy to say that, oh, we don't want to give money, or ये लोग तो पैसे के लिए करते हैं, they could have worked. Yes, they could have worked, but are you offering a job? Question yourself, do you want to offer a job? Why don't you offer a job? Why don't you keep them as a housemaid? If they are actually, they also want to pursue education, but the society has not given that space for them to pursue education. So these are questions which we should ask ourselves, because it's easy to put a blame, but when you want to bring a change, you have to be the change. There might be 10 people who choose to continue, be in the profession of hijra profession, or who choose to continue beg in the signals. That's their choice. But there might be 2 people who might be interested to work, who are looking for opportunities, but they are not getting that platform. So it's important to not to just generalize everyone with the same category, but to have a space where you create. When we talk about education, it's not only providing a space. For example, if we are having a space where if you are providing them to come on board, if a trans person is coming on board in a school, they identify as a trans person. It's not only important that the teachers, the faculties should create a space, safe space, because a person today, if I am at a workplace, I think if you all can resonate, if we work somewhere, we always would prefer a space which is safe for us. If we feel that if we are mentally being harassed every single day on the basis of what I'm wearing, how do I look, who do I be with, or who is my partner, if I am always being, for example, if you keep on taunting me every single day, or if you keep on mocking me, somewhere I wouldn't feel safe. And what would I do? I will complain. If any complaint is not being taken action against, my last option would be to quit. So many of the such folks who represent from the underrepresented communities, let me not go with gender, sexuality, because it's everywhere. If you are a Dalit, it's a taboo. If you are a Muslim, it has been a taboo in many places. If you are a queer, if you are a Muslim and if you are a queer, that's another taboo. If you are a Sikh and you are a queer, that's a taboo. These are all taboos which have been there across. So talking about it today, having a space. So not only you give a platform, but you give a space where they feel comfortable and where feel they are being treated with equality as per everyone. It's not your gender, it's not your sexuality, it's not your religion, it's not the economic background which you come from. Today, if I am at work, my work should be measured on the basis of my performance, how I do, but not on the other parameters of how I look or what I do, what I identify, what religion I follow, what economic background I come from, what privileges I hold or what privileges I don't hold. It's about my performance. If I'm not performing right at work, I'm happy to accept feedbacks. I'm happy if I'm being if I'm asked to quit on the basis of a lack of performance. But it's not that my other categories or what I was mentioning is sort of that is impacting my work life. So it's more of creating safe spaces. If we want to bring a change, it's important to talk about it, because it's a place where if we talk, there are today's date, we could at least see. I'm glad that standing in 2024, at least we have such interviews, such platform where we are talking about it. But if you see actually 10 years before, where did we have this active conversation? No, we didn't. So change has happened. I wouldn't say change has not happened. See, for change also it takes time, and I think it's people like you and me and many others who has taken a stand to be across, be with the community, or be with any other all individuals who are quote unquote different. What is normal, what is abnormal is a point. Today, what is normal to you is not normal to me, might be. You like wearing green, I like wearing yellow. That doesn't mean that you are abnormal or I am normal. It's just individual choices and perspectives which needs to be respected. I think that's what is important. I feel let's respect every individual irrespective of who they are, what religion they follow, what economic background they come from. But basic thing, I think what you mentioned is humanitarian. Being humanity, being empathetic towards the fellow folks, create a space where everyone can be themselves.
Excellent. Excellent, Venkatesh. It's really, really awesome the way you've shared all of that. Much appreciated. You've opened our eyes,
Thank
you've
you.
opened our ears, and you've made us alert that yes, we should accept each other, one another, each other, like you said, I'm in green and you're in yellow, and one another is all of us. So we just look at each other as human beings. We only keep the humanitarian aspect alive. And then we could really, make this world a beautiful place. Venkat or Venkatesh, I just like the way you put that very beautifully. Hats off to you for the courage that you had, not only to work on yourself and come out and share it with your family. You enabled yourself to reach out to many others as well, to give them the courage to come up, to stand up for themselves. That's excellent.
Thank you.
Yes, dear. I'd like to ask you, Venkatesh, when you were in school and college, like what kind of treatment you had from your classmates? Were they very harsh, or were your not only from your classmates and from your teachers and management? What was their view, or how did they view the situation?
So coming to my school life, I think I didn't face any issues as such. So I think I had privilege in certain way. I was never bullied or never had that space where I was judged. So at least my school life went very smoothly. Coming to college life, I didn't pursue a formal college education. So of course, I wouldn't say that. But it's not only about school and colleges, it's everywhere. The bullying is not restricted to school and colleges, it's at your workplace, it's at your society. And I think the first discrimination, first bullying starts at your own home. I think that's what is very important. I think if you see many of us, we have faced problems in our which starts at our own home. Today, if you, it's not about gender sexuality. Let's get into it. It's not. I don't want to be restrict about gender sexuality. We have seen about girl children. लड़कियां हम ज्यादा पढ़ाएंगे नहीं, हम उनको शादी करा देंगे. We will get them married. We want to get a girls married at young age because they are dependent. We consider girls to be dependent and boys to be self independent. So these thought processes which exist till date might be not in cities, but if you actually go to the rural areas, there are child marriages happening. There are till now dowry is existing. There are child sexual abuses which are happening across. There are people who are getting married and who, because just because they are girls, they are not allowed to pursue their education. So there are harassments because we identify as one from the alternative sexualities and gender. There are corrective rapes happening. When we talk about rapes, again, it's a trigger warning. Rape is something which is forceful. And if we talk about corrective rapes, where your own family gets the child raped, we have not heard about it. We don't talk about it, but there are parents who get their child raped just because they identify as one from the alternative sexualities. And they consider that if a girl, for example, quote unquote, identifies as a bisexual woman or a lesbian, they feel that just having a sexual intimacy with a opposite gender will turn out to make them straight or heterosexual. That's not possible. So these things it's about all the different conversation these around. So there are taboos. There are a lot of spaces where we talk about child sexual abuse. Child sexual abuse is not just a young girl getting assaulted or child, but there are actually, if you see in reports, it might not be documented, but there are more number of boys, biologically born male children who gets assaulted more on a daily basis than what girls. But for me, what I consider is a child sexual abuse is a child sexual abuse. It's not on the basis of your identity of being identifying as a male or a boy or a girl or a non-binary or a trans, but it's an assault. So you have to think about certain processes. So in that way, when your family, when the torture begins at your own home, so I think these are all from your initial home. Ladki hai, girl hai, shadi kara do, marriage karwa do, get them married. So these all starts from your own home, and then it comes to society. Your society is much more actually concerned about how you are, who you are, how you leading your life. It's the society who wants to dictate, and they all go with the basic certain norms. A girl, quote unquote, if they are wearing a sari with a blouse, which is, for example, a half sleeves, okay. If someone is wearing a sleeveless, then oh, this girl, how they look like. See the culture. The moment she wears a one piece, oh my God, the culture and upbringing. The society keeps on talking about it. So these topics, it's important what I choose. It's important about how I want to live. It's not the society who should dictate of how the person should lead a life or what should they wear or who should they mingle with. It's there. If a person is an adult, it's their choice who they want to get married to, what they want to lead a life, where they want to work. Basic rights. I think basic things which we don't have to talk about, but these should be something very basic. But all are quote unquote in boxes. Oh, girl, if a girl is seen playing football, this is a tomboy sort of thing. But when a boy is seeing so we have seen this, there's a difference in discrimination also. See, for example, if a girl is wearing a shirt and a pant, we just try to say, oh, I have a boy's cut hair. We say that, oh, it's a tomboyish. It's okayish. Still, discrimination is there, but still, if I compare, but whereas a boy wearing a being walking bit has a feminine traits. If I talk about, the person might love wearing a bit nail polish, or might love wearing a lipstick, or might love wearing a eyeliner, kajal. The moment we say, so there are words which we sort of say them. And if I talk about in Hindi, in India, chakka, mamu, meetha, good, all these words, derogatory terms being imposed on them, saying that, oh, because quote unquote, India is until date, India, where we see male is considered to have the superior power, a sort of female. So what happens? It's male, female, and trans people, apart other binaries. So when a male is having certain feminine traits and all, sort of having them is, so you are not male also, you're not female also. You come to the derogatory terms, you are being imposed as chakka, meetha, and sort of things. But when a sort of female is having her male traits, masculine traits, or wearing a shirt, band, or having a watch, so somewhere or the other, it's more of having a bit superior. Oh, you're female, but still having a male, feminine, masculine traits. But again, both people have their own set of discrimination, own set of challenges they have to face through. So I won't say that someone is facing more or someone is less. But if a discrimination is faced, it's a discrimination. Let's not get into it. What's the percentage of it, or what's the harm of it, or what the person is facing through. So these basic things, when you talk about it, it's everywhere. Your society, your workplace, everywhere this sort of discrimination happens. It's not only restricted to college and school, but yes, school, I think school is the initial place where a child goes through. After their home, the child spends the majority of his life in a school. At least if I talk about 14 years of formal education, 14 years of education with the spend. So school is a platform where I feel education, where these topics should be incorporated in the education system. Having a conversation, having a space, so that at least if there is one child who identifies apart from the alternative sexualities, binaries, gay or bi or trans, if out of 100 students in one class, one identifies, at least it's our responsibility to make sure that the other 99 children are at least creating a space for that child, that they don't feel left out. And the moment you feel left out, you might feel so depressed at a certain point, you don't want to continue education. That has happened with maximum of our community folks. Today, people are sort of educating themselves. They have platforms. Still, it's improving. But till date, lot more change to happen. And if this change has to happen, we as a person have to bring the change. I also learn every single day talking with hundreds of people. I learn, and there are a lot of things which I think that it is right, but actually it might not be, or it can be much better. So talking, learning, and unlearning is an experience where one should have that, uh, I think, ability to accept it, receive feedbacks, understand, and it's more just being empathetic. What you can do, I think we have just a very short life. Life is so uncertain. Today I'm here, tomorrow I might not be there. But what remains is my work, my dedication, of what I try to be. If I can create a space for my fellow folks which is safe, at least the next 5 years, people might remember that, oh, Venkatesh has been a person who has brought this change. So let's continue it. We have to. So that's how it is.
Yes, Venkatesh, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I have a question, Venkatesh. Now, as you mentioned, out of 100 students, one student identifies himself as, the third gender or non-binary. So are we taking the necessary steps to enlighten and empower our teachers, the management, to give space to make the children accept their gender identity, like what they identify themselves as. Now, because we have seen this not happening much in India, whereas in foreign countries, I'm sure abroad, the trend has already started. Do you think India too will march on to that beautiful phase where we could really go to different schools and enlighten and empower children with regard to this aspect of respecting, the children at that very level, start level?
Correct. So see, when I talk about change, I know India is trying to change. There have been changes happening, but certain things, no, we can't just be very uncertain of. It's happening doesn't mean that I have to sit back and I'm happy with it. But if you, I am happy. Let me talk about the positives first. I am happy to see a lot of school children coming to pride parades and walking just as a support. It's really beautiful. They might not identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, but you are just a supporter, which we call as ally. The person is coming and just being walking for some, because it's about solidarity. Be with that person and you work for a cause. That's okay. I'm happy to see that. There have been platform schools which are still now have started actively talking about it. They have a sort of management, a sort of group where they people, if they have issues, they can come and reach out. But that is very minimal. That is very minimal. It's very unfortunate. I have come across so many students who have lost their lives. Uh, I just a quick instance. So there's this person called RV. So he was a young, bright student from NCR who was, I will not name the school here on the platform, but very reputed school back in NCR where they used to study. And the mother was also a staff back in the same school. And she's a single mother where this child every single day was harassed by the fellow students. And in regard, when the complaint was made by the mother or the child, no action was being taken on and off as that happened, continued for a while. And one day during the COVID pandemic, before that, where this child was assaulted in the restroom by the fellow students who assaulted him. And that time the mother was suffering from COVID, major COVID. And so they couldn't come and share back with the mother that what they are faced through. So I remember, I think it was Feb 20th, 2021 or 2022, 22, where this guy, a chap came home, had dinner with the mother and all. And at the end of the day, suddenly this mother gets a call from the ground building where the child jumped off of the 16th floor and died of suicide just because of the harassment faced from the students. And to a very unfortunate instance that where the management didn't take any course of action as well. So and so this how the discrimination actually affects people. And when we talk about it, it's a very triggering thing. I've seen that mother who has been actively advocating for LGBTQI plus rights, because a mother's loss can't be replaceable. It's a loss. We know no one of us might be able to understand what she has been going through. That poor little mother who has who has been a single mother, who has the only hopes from her child, had to lose just because of certain bullying that the child faced. And that's how a mother. But a mother has been a voice who is trying to reach out to so many people, trying to create a place, at least the children who might not have a family acceptance, but at least come and talk to her. So she's trying to do her best, but her loss is irreplaceable. We can't help it out. We know what she has been. I might not. I might able to understand, but I might not able to put myself in the same shoe, because a loss which she has gone through, I think it's very difficult to understand and accept it. So in that way, so these basic things, if there was a proper sensitization, and I think it's very important. It's not, and I think recently, I think a couple of months back, where Tamil Nadu government said that there should be a LGBTQI plus sensitization in the school programs. So these are very important. If I'm not very wrong, I don't remember the exact judgment, but yeah, certain way. So these have to be actively incorporated. You can't say that we are doing it just we are doing for the namesake. And certain things, just because change is happening, you can't lose so many much more RV like this. Just because it will take 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, it has to have a certain deadline where we have to sort of be very sure. It's if it's one child, it's one child. That's important, because every when we talk about every life matters, when we say India is a democratic country where every citizen has the right to vote and every citizen has a democratic right to vote, why don't our rights to living, right to dignity, right to healthcare, right to education, right to food, basic access has been denied of? So these are basic things. So it's really important. I would say it's not really up to the mark till date, but changes are happening, but again, it has to be more in expedite the process where we have to more be sure that it's for sure it's happening everywhere.
Excellent, Venkatesh. Hats off to you for that brilliant reply to that question. As you said, yes, we are progressing and we should progress. You've also given an example also. Even yesterday, I interviewed one person and she identifies herself and as a transgender, and she said that she wanted to jump off the third floor of her school because one of her uncle questioned her with regard to her dressing. And so then I remember what you've been sharing now, so it really correlates. Venkatesh, what I'd like to now ask you is, now if anybody out there who views this video, who views this wonderful talk show, would like to connect with you because they would like to, identify themselves with the right kind of people and be a part of your journey too, how should they reach out to you, in what way?
Certainly. Before I take this, I just wanted to mention certain things about many people have been reaching out saying that Venkatesh, we have seen your mother walking down the prize. You might be very lucky that your mother, your family is accepting, your family is very okay with you, who you are, or accepts you. So you have been so lucky. So I would just think once I would like to say one thing is see, coming out, many people say, I also want to come out to my family. That's the question basically they have at the end of the point. So I always say is coming out is by choice. There are people who has not come out to their family or society, but they're happy with it. But if you want to come out, it's your choice. Coming out is up to your personal choice. Second, who you want to come out. Today, for me, I felt a safe space is my mother, but it can be. I have a sister also who is 5 years elder, 4 years elder to me. But at that point, I felt that it was my mother who I should talk with. But later, now my sister, everyone knows in my family, extended family, and they have been supportive. They have been accepting me who I am. But it's about, again, who you want to or come out to. It might be your mother, it can be your father, it can be your sibling, it can be your relative, it can be your friend, it can be your colleague. But who you think should be safe. Today, I might feel Crystal is safe, a safe space for me because at any point, if I have some problem, at least I can share with Crystal. It's very important to understand the safe spaces, who the person is and who I reach out to. That's important. Secondly, what happens is coming out is not important. Today, it has a lot of other effects which continues. Like today, I might be comfortable. I came out, I was not kicked out of the house, but many people after coming out faces other discrimination, or they are forcefully got married, or they have been asked to leave the house. They have been many other challenges which they have to face through. So my always ask to everyone is, first important thing is be financially independent. See, financial independence, irrespective of anyone, it's very important in today's date because see, the society in today's date, it's very important to understand. See, it's not only about being selfish. We people are selfish in our own ways. The reason because we have our own limitations. Today, if I have hosted so many people of my community members years before because back then I could do that. But today, my parents are in 70s and 80s where I can still host people, but I have to choose certain decisions which I have to make wisely, keeping their age consideration, keeping other problems which might come across. Today, I might host, for example, I might want to host Crystal because they are facing some issue in the home. But today, Crystal's family put a allegation on me that Venkatesh has forcefully taken Crystal to their home. So the allegation can lead to a lot of legal formalities, police issues. So when I don't want my family to face it, right? So there are many other decisions. It's very wisely you have to choose. So which I've hosted years back because I was confident I could take it. My parents could handle that stress. But at this point, they are not able to. So I'm very vocally saying, I'm very vocal about it that at this point, I have to choose what I prefer, what I choose because of certain other decisions. And it's not, and again in today's date, you can come and stay with me for 3 days, 4 days. I might not take any money, but world is a very expensive place today's date. We all have our own like expenses to spend on medical, whatever it is, financial, personal. In that way, 3 days might be okay, but the fourth day, I might have to also ask you to leave. And where do you go? But today, when you are financially independent, you have your own decision. You can at least take a house for 5,000 and stay. So these important, it's not just about coming out. So always, so the right time, there are a couple of things. Right time, who you want to come out, and do you think it's important to come out? And if yes, think wisely. It's important because only coming out, just seeing someone and getting motivated, oh, Venkatesh is open and out, I also want to be open out. But Venkatesh open and out for 14 years or 15 years, that stands the journey of 15 years today. Initial days have not been easy. Yes, I am privileged to have a certain more support from my family, but that doesn't entitle that I didn't face any struggle. I had my own set of struggles to come across from my family, from my society, from my extended family, and not everyone is confident. Five fingers are not same. Today, my confidence level can be here, yours can be here, or vice versa. So confidence level, not everyone has the same thing. I might be able to face it. I might have that confidence level to face that particular issue, but not you. Your level of handling stress can be different, but my level of handling stress is very different. So these are individual perspectives. So that's important first. So never hurry to come out. Take your own time. Understand who you are, how you identify yourself. If you want to come out or not, then only come out. That's very important message which I would like to share. And for me reaching out, you can reach out to me on Instagram, which is kvenky18, KVENKY18, and my contact number is 9903167134. And you can drop a text on WhatsApp because I might be at work or I might not be able to take calls. And just a message that I don't tend to like miss messages or calls, but yes, certain of my other commitments, I might not be able to reply very proactively. But if it's something very urgent or something which I feel that needs to be addressed very importantly, I certainly would take up and I would revert back to you. And you can reach out to me through mail as well, which would be the most preferred way of communication. It's Venkatesh, VENKATESH dot DEI@gmail.com. I repeat, it's Venkatesh K dot DEI@gmail.com.
Excellent, Venkatesh, and thank you so much for sharing all of that. You also shared your email ID, your WhatsApp number, your Insta account as well. That's really nice. Venkatesh, I have a very big question that is with regard to employment. Now, as you mentioned, they have to be financially independent. Now that is a big question. Now, as you're connected with the underrepresented communities, you're working for them. Now, I'd like to know, are there options or are there, platforms created for employment purpose as well?
Certainly.
Or should we create,
So,
should we all join together and create a platform like this to, improve the employment levels?
correct. So in today's date, there have been a lot of groups in regard to diversity related hirings. If I say just name a few, one is Pride Circle, one is who host a job fair specific to the LGBTQ plus community. There is this Vivedita who has been hosting for diversity related hiring. So there are a lot of job fairs specifically to the diverse related communities. There have been groups, there have been platforms, and there have been organizations who are hiring very vocally saying that we want to hire LGBTQIA folks, we want to hire women, we want to hire people with disabilities. So they're very actively talking about it. And only one thing is that uh, there are now what I see across in different organizations, in corporates, when the Pride Month comes, June, oh, they actively talk about it, they hire people, but rest of the year, that level of enthusiasm decreases. These has to be a constant flow. It's not that only the Pride Month you hire LGBTQ people and rest throughout you don't. So it's not about just hiring, but also about making them feel equal, feeling safe is very important. And again, equity, what's the compensation? So it's diversity, equity, inclusiveness, belonging. You are hiring diversity, equity, they should be also paid at par with as per other folks. They should feel that they're belonging to the organization. The way of belongingness has to be there. Inclusivity. It's about being inclusive in the space and creating a space. So these DEIB initiatives are very important for every organization. There have been platforms. I'm glad at least that has been happening. And at least the organizations which I have actively worked with or volunteered with, I felt that I was always welcome. There have been process of learning and unlearning certainly, but at least I was never discriminated on the basis of my gender, sexuality. So for very sure, at least and there are platforms, I could say. And of course, it's never wrong to come join hands and create a space. The more the merrier. The more you spread happiness, keep doing it. That's important. I think this and way of helping. Today, you might not help able to help directly, but you can just certain way of assistance. If you come across certain people from diversity who need some assistance, you might not know directly, but you can certain refer them someone. That's also sort of help you are doing. So these are always ways where you can try to improve. And if you want to bring a change, I'm sure you will find thousands of ways to do that, irrespective of it's not only about being financial or being just being them with the person physically, but it can be in many other ways you can help someone.
Excellent. Superb, superb, Venkatesh. Superb. That's really awesome. And you've given a lot of courage and empowerment to all of us. Venkatesh, till date, you accomplished so much in the past 15 years. You said the journey was not easy, but yes, you've been lucky enough to face all the challenges that were on your path. Now, among all of these challenges, among all of the trials and tribulations and the success that you've gained till date, which one do you feel is the proudest accomplishment till date? Wow, I've achieved this, or I completed this task.
See, there have been several instances, but certainly I think one is able to sensitize my family was very important. I think which I could do through, because I think when you have your family support, they are the backbone. At least I don't have to fight every single day with a lot of worry. Oh, I'm not. People will come and blackmail me. People will come and harass me. But I don't have to have the fear about it. So able to sensitize my family over the time and able to share of what I'm talking about, what programs I'm doing. So that's one of the, I think I feel that's the proudest accomplishment. And I think having my family walking down the prides with me, I think that's a real pride moment for me. And apart from that, I think when I talk about my professional growth, where I could see that it's not just on the basis of my diversity, but it's on the basis of my potential, where I could have, irrespective of all the struggles, but I have achieved through. And I would really be thankful. And if I could name my mentors, like my ex-director Aishwarya, who was there, who helped me in mentoring every single day, and a couple of others who have played a very major role, and a couple of my best friends, I think, where irrespective of they're from the community or not, there's a person called Siddhant Kumar Behra who has been actively working in the state of Chhattisgarh for LGBTQ plus empowerment and movement. Then one of my close friends, Mandeep, who has been for all the underrepresented communities and been supporting me. So Shovik. So these are a couple of people I would like to name, and I think their sort of contribution to me and helping me in terms of growing as a person, professionally, personally, has helped me a lot. And I think I think my profession every single day, I feel that I'm growing in some way.
Excellent. And thank you for sharing all of their names. And we really like the beauty of people when they transform their mindsets and, they start understanding and enabling others to grow. That's really nice. You
Correct.
mentioned all of
And I
them.
think in terms of my community empowerment, I would thank Ranjita Sinha, I think, which who you have interviewed. I think she has been the sort of inspiration mentor of my life, who are from the initial very day, who has stood by me. And she's like a soul sister. It's not about the blood relation which matters, but Ranjita, these contribution in my personal growth, identifying myself as a person who I am, and sort of mentoring me always till date, has played a very major pivotal role. And again, Aparajita, who has been, I think, who have interviewed Aparajita both, she has been my assistant director, and she has also played a very major role, who has always helped me and stood by me. So these certain people, I think, plays a very important role in my life, who has been throughout across my journey.
Yes, Venkatesh, that's really nice for mentioning their names too, Ranjita ma'am and of course Aprajita ma'am. Both of them are two great personalities. And thanks to you for mentioning their names as well. Venkatesh, I'd like
And a
to.
big thank to Shaumitra Di for referring. Yes.
How sweet. Yes, yes. Yes. Many thanks to Soumitra ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for introducing Venkatesh to this beautiful platform. Venkatesh, I'd like to know if you are really attached even to, you're attached to your job, to, creating awareness, you have that passion and all of that. That's beautiful, Venkatesh. Do you also have passion to have a pet? Do you have one at home?
Certainly, I'm a big time dog lover. I love would love having pet, but again, how my travel schedule looks like. So I was based out of Delhi. Now I'm here, but I'm again moving out. So living alone, being a working professional, it's important, and how my travel schedule looks like, because I consider dog pets to be my baby, and I think it's if I have a dog, minimum 10 to 11 years of commitment, which I should have, and I think it's just not that for the namesake. I would love pet, I would like to have it, and not like, and when you keep traveling, I don't prefer keeping them in like in the daycare, like in cares where they are being there throughout. But I think it's more of, so there are a lot of things which you have to consider. It's not just having pet for the namesake or something, but it's again there's a lot of financial things also you have to look, and you know how the veterinary has been expensive in these days. So it's a lot of things are there which have to take into consideration. So honestly, just keeping all those in mind, at the moment I have not adopted one, and I believe in adopting, not buying. So that's one other major thing. I think there are a lot of indies, if you can adopt them and feed them, that's so lovely. It's not, of course, I don't have any issues with breed. You can, but I have problem with getting the people who have been using dogs just to breed for the sake of money is something very wrong, which I don't encourage at all. But yeah, I would always prefer indies over some breeds. Yeah.
Yes, I like this concept, adopting. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's really nice. Venkatesh, one big question coming up for you is like, what kind of change do you visualize in the next 50 years with regard to all of us?
It's a very important, nice question though, and challenging to answer. But yes, uh, I always say I would like to see if I talk about India, I would like to see India to be a platform where there's been this discrimination, irrespective of whatever uh, uh, barriers, like in terms of religion, caste, creed, sexuality, gender, uh, has been there prevailing. That sort of, see, it can't be over. I'm sure it will continue, and that's how progressive a nation is. So it will continue, but at least it should reduce to major extent. There shouldn't be such inequality happening. So I would like to see a space where everyone feels safe of who they are, feel empowered, has the equal rights to all the basic rights which they deserve to have, and being in a democratic country, I think that's not a big ask to do.
Yes, Venkatesh, you're very right. That's really nice. Thank you, Venkatesh, for being a part of our journey, that is the International Fab Talks, and sharing your time and expertise with us, your experiences too, and the way you uplifted, uh, this platform's level, that yes, we have to be inclusive, we have to be thoughtful, we have to be progressive in our thoughts, we have to learn, relearn, unlearn all of those things, because many of us are stuck with, certain thoughts that have been put into our heads. It's time for us to relearn, unlearn, and relearn things that are really good for us. Venkatesh, we have this small round called as the rapid fire round, which will be just for 10 minutes. Thank you for your patience. Your favorite breakfast, please.
It's a rapid fire. Sorry. Okay. Pav Bhaji,
Your favorite month?
June,
The favorite day of the week?
Friday,
Your favorite number?
8,
Your favorite music?
Bollywood.
Did you ever regret spending money on any item that you bought, or any like type of a thing that, oh, why did I buy it? I wasted my money. Anything, any article or something?
Not really. I'm very thoughtful about it.
Lucky one you are, really. That's really nice. Is it tea or coffee?
None.
Is it
But yeah,
comfort?
in case if it's tea and coffee, if I have to answer, then it's tea. But I'm not a caffeine person at all.
That's great. Yes. Is it comfort or is it style?
Comfort.
Your favorite snack?
Momos.
Yes. The insect that you don't like?
Oh, that's insect I don't like. The red ants, the small red ants, which are really uh creepy. I feel creepy with them. Yes.
Very true. Yes, if you get bitten by one red ant and that whole place will be like, for a long time
Correct.
troubling you. Yes, I
Correct.
agree with that. Is it texting or calling? Where do you feel comfortable?
Calling.
Yes, Venkatesh. But then here, when you call, certain people are busy with their work. And then again, I feel like from my side, if you'd ask me the same question, I would say texting because it will be calmer. And
I
then,
know, I know, but texting, I think I'm, and again, calling also, if I am asked, is that, so I prefer video calling over the audio calling. Again, that's a big, much more tedious task, but yes, I tend to, okay, apart from my professional relations, all my personal people, I say, please connect over, whenever you get time, connect over video call, because I think it's more of the facial interaction makes me feel uh, uh comfort, and okay, at least you understand the facial expressions and see the other person.
great. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird. I sleep by 11. I can't get along through night, and I wake up by 5-ish.
You're lucky. Compared to me, you're lucky because I'm a night owl. I suffer to get up in the morning. I struggle. You love salty, sweet, spicy, or sour food.
Spicy.
Life is all about happiness or money.
Happiness.
You consider yourself to be an introvert, an extrovert, or ambivert.
Extrovert.
When you're alone, Venkatesh, with nobody around you, no book to read, not a pen and paper also to write your thoughts down, nor you have your gadgets with you. You're all alone. Where do your thoughts take you at that time? To the past, present, or future?
I think future.
Is it socializing or me time? What would you prefer?
Me time.
You'd like to spend time on a beach or in a forest? Where you feel
Beach.
more peace?
I'm going the after tomorrow to a beach. Yes.
Wow, lucky, lucky. Yeah, that's beautiful. Enjoy yourself. And of course, share the experience. If you come back, you could always let
Yeah.
us know and you can really share that beautiful experience. You prefer song or dance? What is it?
I can't dance, but I enjoy grooving. So yes, mix that. If I have dance, then I have song also.
Yeah, that's great. That's a lovely answer. Is it walking, a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler where you feel that you feel a lot of comfort?
Oh, comfort. Okay. With my weight, I can't walk long, but I try to walk. I have lost my weight, so I do walk. Two-wheelers are not comfortable. Four-wheelers are. Two-wheeler with again, two-wheelers for short distance. So I think it's a very difficult question. So um, I think all mixed. Yeah, but I enjoy walking, and if terms of travel commute, it's not just because I prefer car, but again, it's more of I feel very anxious with bikes, especially the driving, two-wheeler driving in metropolitan cities. How it is. So I think I feel अगर someone like gives a back from back, someone is like uh coming across, I think bikes are the last place where I could be safe enough. So at least car is a bit more safer.
Yes, Venkatesh. Do you love reading a book or listening to music? I mean, if both were
Listening to
placed in
music.
front of you, music you would select.
Yeah.
Yes. If cakes, chocolates, ice creams were offered to you, what would you pick up first?
Ice cream.
Which flavor?
Oh, I'm not very fancy. I think I would really go with the butterscotch or a two-in-one.
Yes,
And that whole two-in-one is really good. Or the best, if I could get through, is that initial days when you used to get this ice cup baraf wala, the
ice
ice cream with
cola, ice cream.
ice colas sort of quality was. I remember I started having for 5 rupees. I don't know now it might be 15, but yeah, that's really helps you in your uh, thirst also.
Very true, Venkatesh. Your favorite season?
Winters.
You love to travel by roadways, waterways, or maybe railways or airways. Which ones?
I have a waterphobic. I'm a waterphobic person, so waterways are the last. But I would like to remove the fear. But yeah, I think railway has helped me in connecting across. So yeah, so I've traveled both rails and flights, but I think trains are enjoyable. So I would go with railways.
Perfect. How would you describe a perfect day or a nice day in just one word?
When I'm not one word, but 2 words, mentally satisfied. The day I feel mentally satisfied.
That's beautiful, beautiful answer. To be satisfied here. And then you're
Yeah,
done. That's a beautiful day. When there's peace in your head, you can really, it applies so well. And I didn't
correct.
get this answer. This is the first answer that I've got mentally satisfied. Venkatesh, are you also good at cooking? Because that's a life skill.
I do some fancy cookings. I bake cakes. I make something. But yeah, but I'm lazy. I would indulge in more time in more traveling than I cook, so I'm lazy. But I can. Actually, I can, but I am just lazy to do that. You are on mute?
Yes, sorry. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Your favorite teacher's name when you were in school?
Mrs. Shana Salam.
More of a thinker or a doer?
Or thinker.
You believe in experience or theory? Or experiential learning or theoretical learning?
I think experience, it helps you understand more.
Yes. If I were to offer you an apple and a samosa as well, what would you select?
Oh, I'm not that apple keeps it after. I'd go with samosa.
Yes. Home cooked food or food ordered from out?
At present, with over the years of eating outside, I think dal chawal is the best home cook. Nothing good is better than home food.
Very true. I agree with on that. I really agree. Till date, Venkatesh, the best gift that you've ever received till date?
The best gift I've ever received. Oh my God, it's hard. I don't appreciate gifts, but I don't prefer and something, but I have to think of it. I don't have an answer right away, actually. Expensive gift. Expensive you asked, right? Oh, best gift, sorry, best
The
gift.
best gift.
The best gift, uh, I don't know. That's very difficult. But in terms of gifts, some surprises might be in person, physically coming and surprising me. That has been a gift, best gift, but nothing in terms of. Uh, I'm not a gift person, so I don't usually prefer as such gifts. It's like
Yes.
difficult to
Venkat,
answer.
that I accept that. You have maybe so many in your mind that you just can't put out that answer.
Might be that also is a point, yeah.
As you said, surprises too.
But in case it's surprises, like if I say I'm like in Diwali, last Diwali, my ex-director, she gifted me some kajal and some makeup. I was like, oh wow, that's fancy, that's nice. I love to do that. Yes.
Excellent. That's really nice. It's time now, Venkatesh, you gift us with 3 beautiful words before we say goodbye for the present. We want 3 beautiful words from you as a gift to empower us. You've been empowering us right from the start till now. As I make a request to all the celebrities who are here on the International Fab Talks to 3 words, magical words, apart from please, sorry, and thank you.
Perfect. 3 words only if it has to be restricted. Okay, let me think. Uh, I think 3 words. It has to be a sentence or 3 different words.
It could be either sentences or they could be just 3 words. It's up to you.
Like I would not go with very focused 3 words specifically, but I would always say that keep sharing positivity.
Yes, please.
Keep sharing positivity. I think that you have been doing. So yes, that's important.
Keep sharing positivity.
Positivity.
Thank you so much. And that's so nice of you to share lots of positivity here to, enhance our thought process, help enable us to unlearn and relearn good things as well. That's really nice. Looking forward to many, many more interactions with you, Venkatesh. I really had a
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
time and I've got to learn a lot. And I'm sure we've made the audience as well and the viewers as well to understand the real meaning of life. We are all human beings and we need to respect that, respect above everything. So when you begin to
Thank you so
respect
much.
life, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Stay
much.
blessed and stay connected. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. My dear friends, with this we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Please share this video to the right kind of people because we need to empower people. We need to make people be progressive thinkers. Only then the world will really transform in the right way. If you like what we are doing, stay connected with us, bond with us, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share this beautiful video. Stay blessed.